A 41-year-old corporate executive walks into Judge Caprio's courtroom with his secretary trailing behind him carrying a briefcase. Traffic violation. Simple case. But the power dynamic is toxic from the first second. Judge Caprio asks for documentation. The secretary hands her boss a folder. He opens it. His face goes red. "Are you kidding me, Jennifer? This is the wrong paperwork." "I specifically told you to bring the insurance documents." He's yelling at his employee in open court. The secretary stammers, "I'm sorry, Mr. Harrison, I thought—" "You thought? You're not paid to think. You're paid to do what I say." Then he does something that makes Judge Caprio's blood boil. He waves his hand dismissively at the court clerk, a woman trying to help, and snaps, Can you make this go faster? We're wasting time here." Judge Caprio's voice cuts through like a knife. "Sir, you will not speak to my court staff that way. This is a courtroom, not your office." What happens next, when this arrogant CEO learns that judges don't tolerate workplace bullies, becomes the most satisfying takedown you'll ever see. Subscribe, because this corporate bully is about to discover he's not the boss here. Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. Case 20156, Marcus Harrison, failure to maintain lane, Route 195. A man in an expensive tailored suit strides to the podium. Everything about him screams money and authority. Rolex presidential watch, Italian leather shoes, perfectly styled salt and pepper hair. Behind him, a young woman in her late 20s follows nervously, carrying a leather briefcase and a tablet. "Good morning, Mr. Harrison," Judge Caprio begins. "Morning." Curt. "No, Your Honor. Just morning," like he's greeting a hotel concierge. "And who is accompanying you today?" "My executive assistant, Jennifer. She's here to take notes and provide documentation if needed." The way he says, "my executive assistant," is dismissive, like introducing a piece of equipment rather than a person. Judge Caprio nods to Jennifer. "Good morning, miss." Jennifer starts to respond. "Good morning, Your—" Marcus cuts her off. "She doesn't need to speak. I'm the defendant. She's just support staff." First red flag. Treating her like furniture. "Mr. Harrison, you're cited for failure to maintain your lane on Route 195, nearly causing a collision with another vehicle. The officer noted you were on your phone at the time. Can you explain the circumstances?" "I was on a conference call. Critical business discussion. Multi-million-dollar deal. I may have drifted slightly, but there was no actual collision, so I don't see what the big issue is." "The big issue is that Rhode Island law prohibits handheld phone use while driving, and you endangered other motorists." Marcus waves his hand dismissively. "I'm aware of the law. I've driven for 25 years without a serious accident. One minor lane drift doesn't define my driving record." Judge Caprio opens a file. "According to your record, you've had 3 citations in the past 4 years. 2 for speeding, 1 for running a red light." "Those were all minor infractions. I paid the fines. I'm a busy man. Sometimes efficiency requires calculated risks." Judge Caprio's eyebrow raises. "Calculated risks?" "I run a tech company with 400 employees. My time is valuable. If I need to take a call while driving to save an hour, that's a business decision." The arrogance is breathtaking. "Mr. Harrison, I'll need to see your insurance documentation and vehicle registration." Marcus doesn't even turn around, just snaps his fingers. Actually snaps his fingers at Jennifer. "Insurance docs, now." Jennifer fumbles with the briefcase, pulls out a folder, hands it to him. Marcus opens it. His face immediately flushes red with anger. "Are you kidding me, Jennifer?" His voice explodes in the quiet courtroom. Everyone jumps. "This is the vehicle registration. I asked for insurance documentation. Do you understand the difference?" Jennifer's face goes pale. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Harrison. I grabbed the wrong folder from your car. I thought—" "You thought? You're not paid to think. You're paid to follow instructions. This is exactly why I can't trust you with simple tasks." He's berating her, in open court, in front of dozens of people. She's visibly shaking, tears forming. Judge Caprio's voice is firm. "Mr. Harrison, that's enough." Marcus barely glances at Judge Caprio. "Excuse me, Your Honor, but I'm addressing my employee about her incompetence. This doesn't concern. It absolutely concerns me when you're verbally abusing someone in my courtroom." Verbal abuse? I'm giving performance feedback to someone who failed at a basic task. You're humiliating your employee in public. There's a difference. Marcus's jaw tightens. He's not used to being challenged. "With respect, Your Honor, how I manage my staff is my business. Can we please focus on the traffic citation?" "We'll focus on the citation when you treat everyone in this room with basic human decency." Marcus takes a breath, clearly trying to control his temper. He turns to Jennifer, his voice dripping with condescension. "Jennifer, go back to the car. Get the correct documents. The insurance folder. Not registration, not maintenance records. Insurance. Can you handle that simple instruction?" Jennifer nods, tears now openly running down her face. "Yes, Mr. Harrison." She turns to leave. "Wait," Judge Caprio says firmly. "Miss, you don't have to leave. Mr. Harrison can request the documents himself after this hearing." "Your Honor, I need those documents to properly present my case. Your case is a failure to maintain lane citation because you were on your phone. Insurance documents aren't relevant to that charge. I want to present my full driving history and insurance standing to demonstrate my responsibility as a driver. Your driving record is already in front of me. I don't need insurance documents." Marcus's frustration is visible. He's losing control of the situation. In his office, people jump when he speaks. Here, the judge isn't budging. He turns to the court clerk, a woman in her 50s sitting near the judge, and makes a sharp hand gesture toward her, like he's summoning a waiter. "You, court staff, can you expedite this process? We're wasting valuable time here. I have a 1 p.m. meeting I cannot miss." The clerk looks shocked. Nobody speaks to court personnel like that. Judge Caprio's voice goes cold. "Mr. Harrison, you will not address my court staff in that manner. You will not snap at them. You will not make dismissive gestures. Is that clear? I was simply asking for assistance. You were being disrespectful and demeaning. To your employee and to my staff. This is a courtroom. Everyone here deserves respect, regardless of their position." Marcus laughs, a short, bitter sound. "Respect? Your Honor, I run a company worth $90 million. I manage 400 people. I make decisions every day that affect livelihoods and careers. I understand respect. But I also understand efficiency. And this proceeding is wildly inefficient. Efficiency doesn't excuse abuse. I'm not abusing anyone. I have high standards. Jennifer made a mistake and I corrected her. That's called accountability. That's called bullying." Marcus's face flushes deep red. He's genuinely angry now. "I am not a bully. I'm a leader. There's a difference. Just because I hold people to high standards doesn't make me a bully." Jennifer is still standing there, clutching the briefcase, crying quietly. The entire courtroom is watching this toxic dynamic unfold. Judge Caprio addresses Jennifer directly. "Miss, what's your full name?" "Jennifer. Jennifer Caldwell, Your Honor." "Jennifer, how long have you worked for Mr. Harrison?" Marcus interrupts. "Your Honor, my employee's work history isn't relevant to." "I'm asking her, not you." "Jennifer?" 3 years, Your Honor." "And in those 3 years, has he spoken to you this way before?" Jennifer glances nervously at Marcus. She's clearly terrified of answering honestly. "It's okay," Judge Caprio says gently. "You can tell the truth. You're under the protection of this court right now." Jennifer's voice is barely a whisper. Yes, he yells at me often. If I make mistakes or if things aren't perfect. He says it's how he pushes people to excellence. Marcus explodes. That is completely taken out of context. I have high standards for my team. That's why we're successful. Jennifer is making me sound like some kind of monster when I'm simply a demanding boss. A demanding boss doesn't humiliate employees in public, Judge Caprio says firmly. I did not humiliate her. I corrected a mistake. You told her she's not paid to think. You said you can't trust her with simple tasks. You yelled at her in front of a courtroom full of people. That's humiliation. Subscribe to Judge Stories if you believe workplace bullies deserve to be called out. Marcus is pacing now, small agitated steps in front of the podium. His expensive shoes clicking on the floor. Your Honor, I came here to address a traffic citation, not to be lectured about my management style. Can we please focus on the actual legal matter at hand? The actual legal matter includes your behavior in this courtroom, which has been consistently disrespectful. Disrespectful. I've addressed you as Your Honor. I've complied with your requests. How exactly have I been disrespectful? You've interrupted me multiple times. You've dismissed my instructions. You've abused your employee. And you've been rude to my court staff. I have not been rude to your staff. I simply asked for assistance. Judge Caprio's voice rises slightly. You made a dismissive hand gesture at my clerk and demanded she expedite this process, like she's your personal assistant. That's not. I was simply... Marcus is flustered, losing his composure. Mr. Harrison, let me be very clear about something. In your office, you may be the boss. People may jump when you speak. Your word may be law. But in this room, I am the authority, not you. And in this room, everyone, from me to the bailiff to the clerk to your assistant, is treated with equal respect. Do you understand? Marcus's jaw clenches. He's not used to being talked to this way. I understand that you're making a mountain out of a molehill. I corrected my employee's mistake. That's all. You didn't correct her. You berated her. That's your interpretation. It's also the interpretation of everyone in this courtroom who watched you reduce her to tears. Marcus throws his hands up. She's overly sensitive. She cries when I give her any criticism. That's not my fault. Judge Caprio leans forward. Mr. Harrison, I've been watching workplace dynamics for over 30 years. I know the difference between constructive criticism and abuse. What you did was abuse. This is absurd. Marcus's voice is rising dangerously. I came here for a traffic ticket, and now I'm being accused of abuse. This is completely out of line. Lower your voice. I will not lower my voice. This is ridiculous. You're overstepping your... Mr. Harrison. Judge Caprio's voice cracks like thunder. You will lower your voice immediately, or I will cite you for contempt of court. The courtroom goes dead silent. Marcus is breathing heavily, face red, fists clenched. But he's smart enough, barely, to recognize he's on the edge of a cliff. This is a courtroom, Judge Caprio continues, his voice steel. Not your boardroom, not your office, not a place where you get to treat people as subordinate to you. In this room, your $90 million company means nothing. Your 400 employees mean nothing. Your busy schedule means nothing. What matters here is law, order, and mutual respect. And you have shown none of that today. Marcus is silent, jaw working, clearly struggling to control his rage. Now, I'm going to give you one chance to apologize to Jennifer for how you spoke to her, and to apologize to my court clerk for your dismissive behavior. Apologize? I'm not going to. If you don't apologize, I will hold you in contempt of court. That carries a potential fine of $1,000 and possible jail time. Your choice. Marcus stares at Judge Caprio. A battle of wills. He's calculating. Is his pride worth $1,000 in potential jail? Finally, through gritted teeth, Jennifer, I apologize for raising my voice. It's the most insincere apology ever spoken. And to my court clerk? Marcus turns slightly toward the clerk, doesn't make eye contact. I apologize if my request for assistance came across as rude. If, Judge Caprio repeats. There's no if, it was rude. Try again. Marcus's face is purple with suppressed rage. I apologize for being rude to the court clerk. Better. Now sit down. I'm going to rule on your citation. Judge Caprio opens his computer. Takes his time. Lets Marcus stand there stewing. Mr. Harrison, the citation for failure to maintain lane while using a handheld device carries a standard fine of $400, plus 4 points on your license. Marcus nods curtly. He'll pay $400, no problem. Small price to end this nightmare. However, that was before you demonstrated a pattern of abusive behavior toward your employee and disrespectful behavior toward this court. Marcus's eyes narrow. What does that mean? It means I'm enhancing the penalty. Under Rhode Island law, judges have discretion to increase fines when defendants demonstrate contempt or disrespect for judicial proceedings. You can't be serious. Your fine is increased to $800. $800 for a lane violation? $400 for the traffic violation. $400 for your behavior in this courtroom. This is outrageous. I'm going to appeal this. My lawyers will. Appeal all you want. Everything that happened here is on video. Any reviewing judge will see exactly what I saw. A man who treats people beneath him with contempt. Marcus is shaking with rage, but smart enough not to say more. In addition to the $800 fine and 4 points on your license, I'm ordering you to complete 20 hours of community service. Community service? I'm a CEO. I don't have time for. You'll make time. 20 hours at a workplace harassment prevention program, where you'll learn about appropriate workplace behavior and the impact of verbal abuse on employees. This is insane. No, Mr. Harrison. This is accountability. Something you clearly need to learn. Judge Caprio turns to Jennifer. Miss Caldwell, I want you to know something. What your boss did today, humiliating you in public, yelling at you, dismissing your humanity, that may constitute workplace harassment under Rhode Island employment law. You have rights as an employee. If you ever want to explore those rights, I encourage you to contact Rhode Island Legal Services. They provide free consultation for workplace issues. Jennifer's eyes widen. Thank you, Your Honor. Marcus looks like he's about to have a stroke. You're dismissed, Mr. Harrison. Pay your fine at the clerk's window. And Mr. Harrison, learn to treat people with dignity. Your money and power don't make you better than anyone else. Marcus storms out, Jennifer following meekly behind. As they leave, Judge Caprio says to the clerk, "Make a note. If Mr. Harrison ever appears before this court again, I want to be notified immediately." Outside the courthouse, Marcus is on his phone immediately, yelling at his lawyers about appealing. Jennifer stands nearby, still shaken. An older woman who was in the courtroom approaches Jennifer. "Honey, I heard what the judge said about your rights. Here." She hands Jennifer a business card. "This is a good employment lawyer. She does free consultations. What your boss does to you isn't okay." Jennifer takes the card with trembling hands. "Thank you." The video goes viral within hours. CEO berates assistant in court. Judge Caprio destroys him. Judge to corporate bully. "Your money means nothing here. Arrogant boss learns he's not in charge in the courtroom. Comments flood in. I've worked for bosses like this. Thank you, Judge Caprio. That poor assistant. I hope she finds a new job. $800 fine plus community service equals chef's kiss. 3 weeks later, Jennifer Caldwell quits. She calls that employment lawyer. Turns out Marcus's pattern of verbal abuse is well documented. Other former employees come forward. The company settles a harassment claim quietly for 6 figures. Jennifer gets a new job at a tech startup. Better pay, better boss, better life. Marcus completes his 20 hours of mandatory workplace harassment training, seething the entire time. His company's HR department institutes new policies after the viral video.